disposed of in other designated areas, leaving the channel deeper and wider for safer navigation. The Essayant, the world's largest seagoing dredge, was designed by the Corps of Engineers. In New York Harbor, where dredging is essential to maintain necessary depths near piers and docks and in the channels, the Essayant has removed 7.5 million cubic yards of mud in 1 year's operation. When the long drags are lowered to the bottom, powerful pumps suck up mud and discharge it into huge tanks inside the ship. When the hoppers are full, the Essayant puts out to sea where her cargo is emptied into deep water. Another familiar sight in New York Harbor is an odd floating contraption. This one is appropriately named the Driftmaster. It's a sort of water-bound vacuum cleaner, sweeping up the harbor surface of floating debris, which could easily cause delay and damage to vessels moving in and out of port. From the look of this old tar, nothing coming up out of the water could surprise him, not even a mermaid. To prevent river waters from eating away the banks, concrete mattresses are laid. These are launched by a specially designed engineer barge. As the mattress sections are added, the barge moves away from the bank and the mattress is lowered to the river bottom. The cables are cut and the mattress then extends from the river's edge to the deepest part of the channel. Located in the nation's capital, the Beach Erosion Board is another engineer testing agency. This is a model study of emergency shore protection for the Great Lakes. The temporary protection shown here is built at a fraction of the cost of other known methods. How to find ways to minimize the deterioration of waterfront property from sea erosion is the main job of these technicians. Stormy seas are reproduced in this 635-foot tank. The seemingly beautiful waves which pound our coast 24 hours a day carry destructive force in every curl and break. This type of research may mean the difference between life and death for a waterfront community. In cooperation with the Canadian government, Army engineers are preparing to do a facelifting job on Niagara Falls. During the past centuries, the face of the falls has been slowly wearing away and its crest moving upstream. In order to preserve the beauty of this scenic spectacle, the International Joint Commission has authorized engineering works for keeping the maximum amount of water going over the falls and at the same time diverting water for other uses. Not all Army engineers wear uniforms. There is a far larger number of civilian workers who are the backbone of the engineer-directed construction program, which will reach over $1 billion in the present fiscal year. In the American tradition, private industry plays a substantial part in the accomplishment of these operations. The time-honored practice of awarding contracts to the lowest responsible bidder is followed as much as possible. Back in July 1951, the first convoy of ships loaded with engineer men and equipment battled through the clutches of the ice floes on the way to Thule, Greenland. They moved ashore to a frozen, wind-swept, desolate fragment of land abutted by the great ice cap. These were the first steps of the first major construction project in the heart of the forbidding Arctic. For 63 days, men worked amid the roar of machines. At the end of that time, in place of the nothingness of Thule, Greenland, there stood a mighty air base, another link in the chain of free world defense. 5,000 miles away from Thule, in North Africa, another important base in our defense plan was built. The same story can be told of other distant places, such as Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Spain, Tripoli, the Azores, French Morocco, where the castle emblem of the Corps of Engineers is now a familiar sight. The men who wear that emblem can be justly proud of this oldest professional service in the Army. The part it played in developing the atomic bomb its outstanding achievements in combat and supporting operations, and its great civil works developments, all are history. Count on the Corps of Engineers to play a vigorous role in the new chapters ahead.
The Corps of Engineers is now 179 years old, with a proud record of service behind it. But as you have seen, there is nothing old about its spirit, as its personnel, both civilian and military, look forward eagerly to future accomplishment. This is Sergeant Stuart Queen, inviting you to be with us next week for another look at the big picture.
The Big Picture is a weekly television report to the nation on the activities of the Army at home and overseas. Produced by the Signal Corps Pictorial Center. Presented by the U.S. Army in cooperation with this station. You can be an important part of the big picture. You can proudly serve with the best equipped, the best trained, the best fighting team in the world today, the United States Army.